Okay, this part we will talk about another multi-criteria decision-making method, so-called TOPSIS. And TOPSIS actually an abbreviation for something called the techniques for order of preference by similarity to ideal solution. So by the name, you already can guess that this technique is try to select from several options based on the preference, which is measured by how similar those alternative to the ideal solution. Okay, and we will have like several a very short short explanation about this. First, about the introduction related to general knowledge regarding to TOPSIS. And then we will study this TOPSIS methods or TOPSIS procedure by using example. And basically, this example also explain the very basic 5 steps on using TOPSIS to do multi-criteria decision analysis. And then actually at the end of the this part, I plan to show how we can use the procedure that we already discussed, which is the TOPSIS, implemented using Excel and another software called Discerns. But somehow I didn't prepare for it yet, so I will put it in the separate part, different with this session. Okay. So first one. Okay, this is the course outcome, and then okay, this one. So here in this slide, you can see the general introduction related to TOPSIS. Okay, and TOPSIS is a kind of new multi-criteria decision methods. Even though that, yeah, the term new is relative. Some call new is like 2000 or published in 2020 or recently, but for some method we also consider 1980 is still okay lah, something like that. But compare, it depends on the comparison. If we compare with AHP that we discussed earlier, well, TOPSIS is considered as a newer methods than TOPSIS. Okay, it's introduced in the 1980s and then have been popularized and developed more in the 1990s. And if we compare it to AHP, well, actually TOPSIS has an advantage compared to AHP in terms of the number of inputs being used, and then how easy the output is being understood. So basically, TOPSIS is a very simple approach. And the number of input needed to conduct TOPSIS approach is much less than the AHP. Because in TOPSIS, later you will see that there is not much, no much procedure needed to based on the input being provided to the approach. And then the end result is also very easy to be understood, to be analyzed. Okay, and there is not many subjective parameter as well. Perhaps the subjective parameters, the only subjective parameter is the wake. Similar, this wake is similar to the one that we use in AHP, which is associated or correlated with the criteria. Okay. If you want to see the review related to the TOPSIS, you can go to this one. Even though it's old paper, 2012, you can still see a lot of application there. However, if you want to find a newer one, of course, it may be available newer version of how TOPSIS implement in the multi-criteria decision-making process. So now we go to the ideas or what is TOPSIS in very simple explanation. Okay, TOPSIS is the way or a method, right, that you can use to determine which alternative or which option is best. How do you measure one alternative is better to the other one? Is based on the distance or how similar the distance, this one, the alternative or the option that you want to choose to the ideal condition. Okay, so for example, here you have two alternatives here, right? Alternative A here, alternative A, and then alternative B here. Okay. In AHP, we will calculate, right, pairwise comparison and something like that. But here, we will just need to determine the ideal solution will look like what, and the anti-ideal, it means the opposite to ideal, is look like what. We want to compare A and B, which one is closer to this one, closer to the ideal. Okay, based on this distance. Which one is closer, and then that one we will choose. In this graphical illustration, we can clearly see that A is closer to the ideal solution compared to B, right? If you compare this one with this one, okay, of course, A will be closer. In other words, that A is farther to the anti-ideal solution compared to B, right? So in this case, using TOPSIS approach, you will select A as the decision that you are going to make. Okay, so that's the basic of TOPSIS. However, behind that one, of course, you will have a more detailed explanation or a more detailed calculation. In order to do that, we will try to give you an illustration how to do the TOPSIS approach based on this study case implementation. Okay, in this case study, we will illustrate on how TOPSIS is implemented to select the employee or the recruitment process for employee to be hired or to be recruited as a principal assistant for international market. So it's like the representative of their product in the international market. So perhaps it's an international company, so you need to have a representative in the country, in one other country that your product is being sold there. So you need to recruit either from the internal employee or from the other employee to represent your company in the international market. Okay, long story short, you have there is four candidates being interviewed or being tested to be selected as the new principal assistant for the international market. Okay, this employee called Anna, Tom, Jack, and Emma. Okay, and how do we decide from these four employees which one gonna be the best? Okay, which one gonna be selected as the new principal assistant? Okay, Here, we will determine four criteria to make the best selection. What is those criteria? The first one, okay, because it is international, so you want the because it's international, and then it is a company representation to represent your product. So you will meet a lot of people. So this person, this new employee, should have a good interpersonal skills, okay? And then this interpersonal skill, maybe it's a subjective, but it measures from 1 to 10. Another one, because it's international, you want the new employee is going to have an experience living abroad or living outside the current country, their home country. Okay, living abroad is an advantage. This will be measured on how many years. Okay, so the more years, the better. And then another one, because the employee should be able to meet the standard of the company. So we provide a written test. It's a test, an exam that assess the employee knowledge. Okay, employee knowledge perhaps about the product, about the international culture and stuff. So the more the score, the better. And last one is their work experience, how experienced they are in this field. Okay, experience is the number of years they already work on related field. Okay, this is called the criteria. Okay, there is 4 criteria, and then there is 4 alternative. Okay. Okay. Then we will. Yeah. If you have question, you can directly ask and cut in the middle. It's fine. So now we have. We will explain first what kind of step we do to calculate this TOPSIS. Previously, I already illustrate that we want to see how far the employee or how far the alternative from the ideal solution. Okay. Of course, in this case, the ideal solution is like what? Oh, I want to have an employee that have a very good interpersonal skill, the highest the better, and then very good written exam result, a very good or so many living abroad experience, and then the so many also working experience. So that will be the ideal. The more, the better. At some case, maybe the less, the better, right? For example, the expected salary, you want it the less, the better, right? If you are in the company. So this is the 5 step. In order to follow the TOPSIS approach, we will have this 5 steps. Number 1, we need to gather information. Okay, information about what? About those options or those alternatives, or in this case, each of these employee, we need to find the information. For example, what is their exam result? What is their living abroad experience? How many years they already living abroad? And then how many years they already work in this field or the working experience? Okay, what is the score of their interpersonal skills? Okay, this is called finding information, either related to the alternative or related to the criteria. Because each criteria, we will know, okay, if they have more than this working experience, it means they already senior, something like that. And then the second step is we will get the score, right? And then we will need to normalize it. What is normalization? Because each score will have the different measurement, right? For example, a written test maybe from 0 to 10. But working experience can be more than 10, right? Can be 20, can be 25, something like that. or living abroad experience can be more than 10. So this is why we need a normalization here. And then after we normalize the score, we need to consider the weight. Okay, weight of what? Weight of the criteria. How important you want to consider the working experience, then you give that a weight. How important you want to consider the living abroad experience, you consider the weight there. Okay, normally the sum of the weight will be equal to 1. And then after you have the weight, you need to calculate. So weight multiplied by the normalized score, and then you need to calculate those calculation. You need to calculate the ideal and anti-ideal point. So you find the target, right? So for example, you have 4 A, B, C, D, 4 alternative. You find the ideal point here, and then you find the anti-ideal point. And then you need to measure the distance from A to the ideal point. What is the distance? This is called step number 4. Okay, you have the distance here, all of the distance here, and then you compare which one is the closer to this ideal point based on the something called closeness index. And then the better closer index, the closest the distance from an alternative to the ideal point. So you want to find the best one, okay, the closest one. Those are the 5 steps of doing TOPSIS. Now we move to the example. Okay, first you already see this one, right? The table. Now you put a score here. Okay, you need to put a score. We call XIA. I is for this one, for the criteria. A is for the alternative index here. XIA mean for alternative, for example here, Anna, what is the interpersonal skill? X, Anna, comma, interpersonal skill is 7. So Anna have interpersonal skill of 7. This is XIA here. N is the number of alternative, it's 4. A is the sets of the alternative, Anna, Tom, Jack, Emma. M is the number of interpersonal skill, the number of criteria is also equal 4. I here is equal to set of criteria, interpersonal skill, living abroad, written test, and working experience. Okay, this is the first step. Give this score, finding this score, okay, for each alternative. Okay, now we move to the second step. The second step, we need to normalize, right? Normalize the table. So how do we normalize? There is several ways to do the normalization. Okay, the first one here that we study it is called distributive normalization. Okay, here, distributive normalization. So in order to calculate distributive normalization, you need to use this formula. RIA is the distributive normalization for criteria I at the alternative A. For example, here, this one. The normalization score for Anna related to it or to her interpersonal skill is 0.46. How do you calculate this one? Based on this formula. Okay, so this formula is look like what? Okay, this one. It's equals to actually XIA is 7, right? 7, this one. This is XIA. Anna with interpersonal skills 7. Divided by square root of what? Of sum a equal 1 until n xia square. So 7 square plus 9 square. 9 to the power of 2. 9 square plus 9 square plus 8 square. So basically this one. This plus this plus this plus this. This 7 square, 9 square, 9 square, 8 square. Square root of those square. So you will have this value. Okay.
Yeah.
And then wait. Sorry. Not go here, but sorry, here. 7 square, 8 square. Let me redo the calculation. This one is this one, 7 square, yeah, xia here. This one is like this, divided by square root of 7 square plus 8 square plus 9 square plus 6 square. Because this one, the a until n, so it's going here, not to the right. Okay, so this is when you get this part. Okay, and then for this part, yeah, the same, 9 square divided by square root of what? 9 square plus 7 square plus 6 square plus 11. You get this part. Do all this calculation and then you will get the table in this part. This part. We call this one a normalization table. Okay.
Okay.
Next. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, there is several ways, not only one way to calculate the normalization. Previous one, we call that one distributive normalization. This one we call ideal normalization. Ideal normalization use different formula, this one and this one. What is the difference? The first one is for a criteria that you are going to maximize. And this one is a criteria that you are going to minimize, okay? So first you need to understand which criteria are going to maximize, which criteria are going to be minimized. For example, here, interpersonal skill. In the case of finding employee, you want to have a employee that represent your company, which have the best interpersonal skill, right? The higher the score, the better. So here you want to maximize. Okay, this one, this skill you want to maximize. Living abroad. Related to this problem, the more experience they live abroad or live outside the country, the better. So you want to maximize. Written test. Normally, the better the score, the more the score, the better, right? So it's also maximized. And last one, working experience. Normally also like that. The more working experience, the better. So it's also a max. Sometimes you will have something mean here, but for this one, fortunately, you have all is max, so it's easier to calculate. Okay, for the one that is going to be max, you use this formula. What is this formula? XAI, you already know, right? This one. But what is UA plus? UA plus means the highest value in each column. So highest value here. Okay. And what is UA minus? UA minus is the lowest score in the column. So for the maximum criteria, you find the highest value. Okay, so here, XAI is here, right? So you want to find UA plus first. Here, because it's max, 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 max. So here you want to find the highest one, this one. This one, you want to find the highest one, this one. This one you want to find highest one, this, and this one is the highest here. Okay, so you put the highest here is 9, 11, 9, 12. Now, for the normalization, you need to follow this one. Xii divided by the maximum one. So this one, for example, Rai is Xai 7 divided by maximum UA plus, so this one, 9. 7 divided by 9, you get this one. What about this one? This one is 9, 9 here, divided by what? 11 here. Okay, then do that one, all of that, you will get the normalization table based on the ideal normalization technique. So previous one is distributive normalization. This one is ideal normalization. Okay, so there is two methods. You can choose either way. You can choose this one or you can choose previous one. Okay. Okay, that one, step 1 and step 2. Next, okay, you step 2.5 maybe actually. So you have this normalization, right? Let's say we use the distributive normalization first. Actually, when you calculate the ideal normalization, the step will also the same. So let's use this example to do the distributive normalization. In distributive normalization, you will use this formula. So this one, VAI, use like this. It's equal to WI. So each of this one, interpersonal skill, living abroad skill, written test skill, working experience skill, all has the weight. Okay, so like this one. Weight 1, weight 2, weight 3, weight 4. Okay, total of this weight will be equals to 1. This is the subjective things that the expert need to give. So for example, if you are the expert, you will give, okay, I think living abroad is the most important one. So I put the highest weight, 0.4. After that, maybe written test result, so 0.4 here. And then the working experience, and then the last one, interpersonal. So it's look like this. Okay. Can it be the same for all? Sure. It depends. This is a subjective measurement. So it really depends on the expert that you ask, which one is more important. If they say that it's equal, all is equally important. So you will put 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Equally important. Okay. So for this case, we use this one, the one that we put here, 0.1, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2. And then we come back here. So to calculate this VAI, you need to put here 0.1, this one 0.4, 0.3, and then this one 0.2. Okay, we just follow the previous one. And then you need to calculate. This one is 0.4 multiplied by 0.1 is equal to this. Okay. And then this one is equal 0.4 multiplied by 0.5 is equal to this. Do it for all of the data, and then you will get the weighted normalized score. So the normalized table multiplied by the weight, you get this one based on this formula. Okay, next. After that, now you already have the weighted normalized score. You want to find which one is the ideal solution, which one is the anti-ideal solution. Okay, how do you calculate ideal solution? Using this formula. How do you calculate the anti-ideal solution is using this formula. So here, this one is A plus, this one is A minus. Basically, it will be depends on you want to maximize or minimize the criteria. This one is maximize, right? Previously, we already talked about it. All is maximized. So for a maximize, you want to find the highest score. This one. For so the anti-ideal is the lowest one, so it's minus. Yeah. This one, the highest is this. The lowest is this one. This one, the highest is this one. The lowest is this one. This one, the highest is this one. The lowest is, sorry. The highest this, the lowest is this one. So here you will put as the ideal result, you see. Okay. And then this one is the anti-ideal. This 0.31 and this one. Okay, that's how you get the ideal and then the anti-ideal solution. Okay, so you want to find as much as possible closer to this, but farther to this one. A plus, A minus. You want to close to this one, but far from this one. Okay, your result, your alternative. Next. Okay, now that you have the this one the same, right? Ideal, anti-ideal. Yeah, this is in the same slide. So next. Okay, now how do you define which one is close, which one is far? We have the concept of distance. Distance has so many ways to calculate. This one, they use the straight line formula. For example, if you have this number and then this number in terms of interpersonal skill, this one. So you calculate distance from this to this is like square root of all of this one, right? This minus this square plus this plus, okay. So let's say like this. The ideal solution is this one, right? A plus VI star, VI star. Okay, here. VI star. This is the ideal one. This one is the VI minus, right? The anti-ideal solution. So how do you calculate how similar this one, the first alternative, Anna, to the ideal solution? So you have in terms of interpersonal skill here, in terms of living abroad is this one, in terms of written test is this one, in terms of work experience is this one. So if you use this formula to calculate, it will be equals to square root of 0.059, which is this one, minus 0.046 square, plus this one, 0.260 minus 0.213 square, plus this one, 0.168 minus 0.168, so it is equals, plus this one, 0.140 minus 0.093 square. So you will get this one. Okay. And then what about this one? So dA minus. So the same formula here, but instead of using this one, you use this 0.040 minus 0.046 square root, something like that, until all of this, until 0.070. Okay. So basically those are called distance. Then you will have the distance from each alternative to the ideal solution, and then the distance from each alternative to the anti-ideal solution, right? And then the last one, okay, you need to calculate the closeness index. Closeness index is the value of what is it called? Distance to anti-ideal solution divided by distance to the ideal solution plus distance to anti-ideal solution. So you will have this one, CA. And previously we only calculate for the distributive normalization, right? Here in the last example, we put both. For the ideal normalization, for the from the distributive normalization, we put the ideals, and then we calculate the distance to this ideal and the anti-ideal for both normalization. You can see here, two normalization approach. So as you can see here, the closeness index, the closer to 1, it's the better, okay? It is the range from 0 until 1. The more closer to 1, the better closer index is. So basically here, if you see EMMA with closest index 0.630 and 0.61 in the distributive and ideal normalization is the better, okay? Basically, if you want to do this in your project, you can choose either way. You can choose only calculate this part or calculate this using this normalization. So just choose one is fine. And then here, the conclusion is what? The conclusion is that EMMA with the closest index is 0.61 using distributive normalization. Or if you want to use the ideal normalization, you also still select EMMA because it has the closer to 1 score. This is the ideal candidate that you can select among of these 4 candidates. Okay, I think that's about the use using TOPSIS. For the tutorial using Excel, I think the way I explain the formula, you can redo it using Excel, but I will try to provide an example for it maybe next week using video or another approach. And another one is, there is another software called Discerns. You can search. They provide an online trial that you can use to calculate the TOPSIS approach as well. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the explanation about TOPSIS. If you have question, please tell me.